Good morning. Good morning, chat. Hello, Sylvie. How are you? Oh, ooh, I'm excited to get some more work done on these assets. Whoa, it's starting to come together. Alrighty. Let's see. What do I want to start with? I might start with creating some banisters, like some railings, perhaps. I think we start with some railings. Let's switch back to main. Alright, let's see. Let's go to our ramps. Just the ramp. No wall, I think. And I'm just gonna use this as a base to, like, the plan is to put in some banisters, just like this. And then we would have the same thing, not in the middle, but you know what I mean. And then we'd have the same thing on the foundation plates. I might make them separate though, so you can just place them wherever you want. You could put them in the middle. That probably makes the most sense. So, to do that, what I need to do is just start here. Let's see. First thing I'm going to do is just get rid of this face, because I know I'm not going to need it. How's everybody doing today? Scooch that over here. Make it a little skinnier. How tall is that? It feels pretty tall. If I duplicate this and move it to display. Switch to display. It's pretty tall. I think it can be a little shorter than that. Something like that, maybe. Maybe a bit taller than that still. There. Something like that, I think. Alrighty. What's up, Naoku? It's faring rather well. How about you? Just gonna try and get some, like, banister-y things made here. Just blocking them out right now. What's that? X45. There we go. Let's line that up at the bottom here. That's close enough. About there. Grab this face, scooch it along this way. Probably to about there is fine. In the middle. One at the back. Or maybe this needs to be just a bit longer. That'll probably do. Grab that. take off the top face of that guy also. Once I've moved it. It's going okay so far. Thank you for asking. Awesome. That's good to hear. Anybody working on anything today in Blender or otherwise? 2D stuff, 3D stuff? Anything fun going on? I'm super excited to have this pack done because I have ideas for the next one already. I'm going to keep it on the sci-fi theme. Alright, let's join these together. Let's actually do it with this one as the last piece. Good morning, Mayo. How you doing? Let's join these together, and then I just want to grab these edges. Bring them up a bit. Approximately 45 degrees. And I'm going to isolate these. I'm going to take off these top faces, so we don't need them. Never going to see them. And these need to be slightly skinnier. Not sure how I got rid of that face. I have a face on the other side. Yes, I do. Why is this still visible? Oof, there we go. Doing pretty good. Gotta lock in and start finishing my projects. I understand. I'm gonna try GeoNodes for the first time. Ooh, GeoNodes are fun, Ravanin. They're not intuitive to me at all, but I bought a course on one of them a while ago. There's also a really good playlist by, oh, what's it called? I always forget the name. CrossMind Studio. That'll teach you GeoNodes. They're super, super, super fun when you fiddle around with them. Scabby Banana, hello. Ripping my hair out with the computer. I'm currently in the post-production phase of an animated short personal project. Post is always post can be frustrating, because by then you've already been on the project for so long that you're just like, ah. I have an idea to streamline some of my usual steps when making stylized hair. Interesting. Streamlining workflow is always awesome. It's always good. I'm always making strides and not finishing them because I'm lazy. Same. It is the artist's bane to need to finish projects. That's just how it goes, I think. Let's maybe try... Okay, origin to geometry on this one. Okay, I'm going to bevel these independently. Just add a slight bevel on them. Oh, you know what? First. All transforms, origin to geometry. All... Whoopsies. All transforms, origin to geometry, please. Good enough. Hello, Jean-Renaud Vierre. Hello. Hopefully I pronounced your name correctly. Jean. I know your pain, Scabby Banana, I do. Are these sci-fi stairs going to be OSHA compliant? Probably not. Probably not. Nope. They're definitely not up to code. I can tell you that much for sure. I had to, part of my degree while I was in university was learning building code. And that's one of the things I love about 3D, is I don't have to worry about it. Because it's difficult and tedious. It's important, though. Don't get me wrong, I understand the importance of it. Let's see. All transforms origin to geometry. Alright. There better be exactly 13 stairs. They also must be no more than 8 inches up. They all must be exactly the same. Like, the rise must be exactly the same. Can't have any noses that are different sizes. No, but one of the main things you'd need to concern yourself with is if this was to be an accessible ramp, is like 45 degrees is never gonna happen. It needs to be like, I think the max is 13 degrees before it becomes a serious pain for anybody with mobility issues. So this is a definite no-go in terms of that. I will quickly I'm just gonna bevel these quickly. I'll join them together. And then I'll switch back to show you what I've done with the let's put this in ramps, I think, for now. So this is the progress we've made, chat. Put it in cycles so you can see the lighting correctly. But this is where we're at. Boomers will be mad otherwise. True. It must be this number of stairs exactly. So yeah, this is where we're at. Last time, what did I add since last time? I added these, walls. Every other wall protrudes a bit, as you can see. But, ooh, I'm actually gonna have to make them a bit taller so you can see through them, which is no bueno. Sci-fi stairs, sci-fi boots, sci-fi safe. So I made these walls. I'll have to fix the main iteration of them because we're now missing a plane in the middle. That's alright. This one's actually attached to this. So there's a version of the ramp that has an attached wall for both sides. What else did I make? Oh yeah, the actual generator thingy. It's at least blocked out. I may add some more to it, I may not. I think I've done... Look at this. How does this happen? This one face is crooked. Alright, that's fine. I'll go to the main one. Let me go back to main here. I'm gonna shut off ramps for the time being. This is actually the railing. Shut these off for a second. Let's go back to the generator. I just want to see if my main generator has that issue. Or if that was just a tweak. Nope, it has the issue. What's going on with you? Does the other side have the same problem? It does, it looks like. How on earth did that happen? Okay. Alrighty, goodness gracious. Now that's a nifty bundle of assets. ABS, always be scaling. Thanks, Naoku. It's coming along slowly but surely. I'm gonna go back to display here. I just want to... Is this an instance or is this an actual duplicate? It's a duplicate, okay. So what I'm gonna do then is go to generator, turn it on. Come on. Blender. Where is it? Okay, I'm gonna duplicate that over to display. Shut this off for now. Go back to display. Turn snapping on. Get back in its place. Let me just check. Yes, good. So the goal will be, obviously, that the people who use the pack can just slap this stuff in engine, move it around. And it's all on a 4x4 base grid. So everything should snap together exactly right. There's a couple of other things I added to the list, like I think some more floors would probably be in order. I need to make some ceiling tiles, for which I'm going to duplicate these floor tiles, flip it 180, and then merge it to itself. So it'll be two-sided, essentially. But I'll keep those as the ceiling tiles because you'll only want to use those when you need to see the bottom. Otherwise, they should be... otherwise, those faces should be deleted like they are here, just to save on memory. So I was doing some digging also, trying to figure out if it was optimal or not to, like, because I have a lot of metallic materials in here. So, for example, this thing has 3 different materials applied to it, just this main tile. And I was wondering if all is just in one tiny asset. So it doesn't have a ton of faces. It's only got 172, which would be, what, 360 triangles, it says. But it has 3 draw calls on the material. However, in Unreal Engine at least, are any of you guys Unity or Godot users? And if so, do they have material instancing? Like, can you instance materials to save on draw calls or no? Because I know you can in Unreal Engine, which eliminates the problem. I assume you're making these for Eevee if it's for a game. Well, it doesn't really matter how they're rendered. They should look good no matter what. Like if I put it in Eevee, it should look fine either way. I like putting it on cycles occasionally just because all of the light works properly. But all of the design is done in Eevee. With the material preview in Eevee. It is really nice to have like real-time illumination in Eevee though. Real-time global illumination. What am I on? 1 to 4 here? Let's put this on 1 to 2 and see how hard it chugs. Okay, it's fine. But yeah, so it'll look probably something like this, I would guess. What's up, Vic? Hope you're well. Question. As a beginner, I'm trying to learn best practices. Is deleting faces that aren't visible pretty much a standard in 3D? Yeah. Yeah. There's no reason to, like, that's just optimizing your mesh. There's no reason to not do that. There's no good reason to leave geometry in that you don't need. Yeah, Scabby Banana. Yeah. I'm doing all of the designing like this. And then just periodically I'll check it with, I'll check it in cycles. Just because it's a little more, it's a little closer to PBR. But for the most part, I like the look of Eevee. Like, I love the kind of simplicity of it. For, like, rendering, excuse me. For rendering this out, though, for, like, to promote the asset pack, I'll probably use cycles though, because there are issues with, like, look at the, for example, when I lose, trying to think of a good example here. Okay. Right here, in Eevee, when you lose sight of a plane, like an emissive plane, or anything that's emitting light, except for lights themselves, obviously, but anything emissive, right now I can see the source of the emission right here, and it's bouncing off the floor like this. But as soon as I move to a point where I can't see that emissive plane anymore, right here, there's nothing here. Whereas if I go to cycles, you'll still get the bounce light. So that's one of the reasons I like to check it in cycles occasionally. Something they're gonna need to fix. Excuse me. I'm choking on my own lungs. For real-time stuff anyway, because backface culling could mess up certain shadows and reflections if you're not careful. Yes, correct. If you have 2 faces on top of each other, they won't render. They'll appear black. If they're in the same object. That's what I've noticed anyway, particularly in Blender. Or you'll have things like Z-fighting, which is when the computer's trying to decide which face is on top. Like right here. This is Z-fighting. And you see that squiggly line in the middle. Yeah. It is screen space, exactly right. On the list of things to do today. Well, we have our giant list. Let's take a look at it, shall we? Let's switch back to main. We should have our list on in main, I think. Let's turn snapping off. There we go. Okay. So, maybe some lights would be good, some wall lights. Then it flickers. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Alright. Let's get one of our floors in here. I'm not sure why that's there. Can all get sorted out later. Floor, metal square. Okay, so this is just kind of my base scale piece. That's what it's for. Also gonna turn on wall 2. Duplicate it and move it back. I'll turn snapping on. There we go. So just give me a sense of scale that I can use. So maybe some lights would be good. Thinking some kind of sci-fi-ish pod kind of light, maybe. So let's add in... Let's add in a cylinder. I'm gonna make it 12 to keep it nice and low. Let's try and grid fill these. Because they're gonna be really small. I wonder if that's enough or if I should make it 16 so we get a central one. We could try it like this. I'm also going to do a loop cut in the middle, so I'm going to want to mirror this rather than try to... duplicate it exactly. So let's go here. Proportional editing is on. Snapping off. It's a bit big, actually. Nice and small. There we go. Good. Smaller, please. Okay, that'll do. Just gonna make it taller. I'm gonna add a mirror modifier to it. I always have an empty for mirroring at the origin, so that I can, when I'm building stuff, I can mirror it around very easily. I'm gonna turn clipping on. I'll apply that. I have auto merge vertices on as well, so that I don't have to go through, at least not all the time, and remerge things. So because that's on, I should simply be able to dissolve this edge and save some polygons, which I can. Alright, let's de-isolate that. Scale it to 10%. Maybe 20%. Well, there we go. Nice and chunky. Alright, let's see. This is 12-sided, so 30 degrees. Or is that 30? 15. There we go. All transforms, origin to geometry. Back to edit mode. Do I want the pointy end facing out or the flat end facing out? I think I actually want the pointy end facing out. And then we're going to do some simple extrusion Fix. Something like this. Alt E, extrude along normals. You know what? I think I'm actually going to do that on everything except those. So I'll go here, here, and here. There we go. And then I think these, I can flatten them out. Whoa, fortunate editing off, please. Interesting, I'm not sure why it doesn't want to behave. Let's grab just this then. Make it flat. Okay. I can probably delete these faces, since you're never going to see them. Let's apply two materials to this. One is going to be just the main atlas, one is going to be emissive. Just gonna scale those down. Let's make these whitish. And then I just grab these faces. I will assign these to emissive. Shade smooth. Let's actually go to shade auto smooth. I think we could just tweak the value a little bit. There we go. Just gonna, whoopsies. I just want to finish up these seams. Let's isolate it. It's acting a little weird right now. Alright, let's re-unwrap it. How the assets going? They're going all right, Chaos Machines. How you doing? I'm working on some lamps right now. Or some, yeah, lamp thingies. I think make these a little bit darker. I don't know, chat. What do you think? Opinion time. Do you think the outside should look light or dark? I wonder. Let's put it up against the wall. How high is that? That's all right. Okay, origin to 3D cursor. Let's also actually just all transforms origin to 3D cursor. I'm gonna move it with the gizmo, turn snapping on. It's gonna snap to the wrong spot, so need to keep it there. Turn snapping off. And then in edit mode, I'm just gonna shift it so that it sits more or less where I want. Good, 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 good. Okay, just bored, was learning Godot. I was asking earlier, does Godot support material instances? Like, can you create a, oh, gotta go do something in a second, chat. Can you create a copy of a material that is just an instance of it? Because you can do it in Unreal. I'm not sure if you can in Godot or Unity. Scabby Banana, what's the object for it? This is just a lamp. I'm gonna put it into lamp 1, or yeah, light 1, wall, light 1. There we go. And then I'll put that into I'll duplicate it, put it into display, and then I'll put the main one into props. The object is just a light to, like a just toss around the place. Like, here, for example, where's light? Wall light should be at the bottom. Wall light. Here we go. Just like that, just to add a little extra character to the environment. There's gonna be a lot of like gnarly little bits and bobs, especially since it's sci-fi. You think just a bare metal finish then? Alright, let's put these on, let's delete these ones. Let's go back to our main view so we can see what we're doing. Props. The display can be closed. Props, here we go. Wall light. Let's go here. Control I. Let's change this from that to metallic. Maybe a bit darker. It's fine. We'll try it like that. Keep that open. Display. There we go. Snapping back on. Just put this here. Shift the X. There we go. Alright, chat. Godot does have support for GLTF files, and I think you can link Blender to Godot 2 and it auto updates it. I think I saw Passive Star do something about that. Alright, I need to go and run and do something. I will be 30 seconds, something like that. I know I'm gonna lose some of you, so thanks for coming by, but I will be right. We back. That's a nice level design. Thank you. It's coming along slowly but surely. Let's see here. Maybe the tips of the cylinder, like the pyramidish thing looking bit, maybe that could be darker shade color. Just thinking out loud. I think it's a good idea. I think your instinct is also good because more contrast is pretty much, especially if you're going to be like, if you're going to be farther away, if someone wants to use this isometrically, then more contrast is going to be good. So let's maybe separate this that little top part out you were mentioning. I think that's a great idea. Let's go to main. Go to our light. Just going to select these. And I'm going to hit Control Plus to grow the selection. Go to the UV editing, and I'm going to grab them to be a darker metal, just to break it up a bit. Nice. Okay, let's duplicate that over, put that back into display, switch our view set back to display. Snapping is still on, so let's do that. Shift EX, there we go. So these will just add a little bit more light in certain areas also. If I switch this to cycles, we'll have a better view. If I put them in a dark area, which I'll do now. Let's take this. like this, this area here, you can see. You get lit up a little bit more by that. So yeah, just tiny, like the thing is, when you're building worlds, this could probably be moved forward a little bit. Having lots of little bits and bobs for people to place around is going to make it feel lived in. The same thing you learn in environment design. I helped! You did! Alright, let's see. Let's go back to main. And all I want to do is just check. It's sitting into the wall quite a bit, so I'm going to go into edit mode, shut off snapping, grab everything, and move it out just until it's just sitting in the wall there. Which it is. Okay. Let's duplicate that again, move it to display, switch our view to display, and grab this. Turn snapping on. Gotta sneeze. Excuse me, chat. It's too tight. Blah, 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 blah. Alright, there we go. Put one there. Put one there. Some there. Yeah, just things to make it feel alive. I can't remember who suggested the pipes last stream, but I made some pipes. In fact, I reused the same pipes on the thingy here. Thank you, chat. Thank you. That was a ripper of a sneeze. So let's check our list again, chat. Let's see how we're doing here. I'm gonna switch back to main. Okay, we can make some more lights for sure. Why is my screen keys? Screen keys are always off. Screencast keys on. That'll take a second. Also, ZenUV has moved. Where's the panel width? Okay, that's fine. There's a new ZenUV. Goodie. I'm just gonna try and move the ZenUV interface thing a little over because it's blocking that a little bit. There we go. Good enough. Let's see, what else do we need? Let's go for a little walk. Let's shut that off. Click off. Walk navigation, and then I'm going to move up and hit tab to turn on gravity. It'll turn on very elementary collision, and you can walk around your scene. So I want to animate these, and they're also shiny? Why are you so shiny? It's fine. I haven't walked through the reactor room yet. Panel is a bit high up, I think. Displays look fine. Can go have a nap. Hey, not sure if you're still taking suggestions for this pack, but if you are, what do you think about the idea of holographic displays? You actually read my mind a little bit. The only issue I have is the fact that that's going to add... It's going to add textures. I think it would be good to do. I animated my camera movements with FPV Walk, so did I. Just the other day, I made a preview of walking through this space. Good morning, Caldnell. All is well. Yep, we're still working on the asset pack here. Still working, making progress. This was actually kind of fun. These hazard floors. Because you have to, in order for it to work correctly, you either have to make one big one, or if you want to split it into two, you have to make two alternating ones. So I'll show you what I mean. There we go. So this one has its pattern, the yellow in the middle. This one has black in the middle. And then that way it'll go on forever, regardless of orientation. How's everything going with you, Caldnell? Hope everything's well. Much science, very fiction. That's the idea. Do you have a texture tri-vert budget for this? No. No. No, because I'm not aiming to satisfy a client, really. I'm like, not right now. I'm making just free assets for indie devs and game devs to use. And well, I mean, I don't really have a specific budget, but just trying to keep it low, really. Trying to optimize everything, so I'm removing, you know, all of the faces I don't need. Trying to keep everything to one texture image. So all of these are called Atlas because it's all using the same image, this Infenzia gradient map. What I was looking at earlier is how much of a draw call, like what an impact on memory and performance it makes to have several materials, even though they all share one image. Just low poly as a rule? Exactly. Exactly. I still have to figure out, like, there are certain things I still have to figure out with this, the order of animations in Unreal Engine, because it works perfectly well in Blender. It's working exactly the way it's supposed to. I go about it with just making a semi-translucent, transparent green plane with smaller, more opaque green rectangles with emission. That's a very good idea. What I would like, yeah, you could definitely do it low poly. That's an excellent idea, actually. Because then I'd also be able to distort it. Should we try that? Let's give it a try. Set this back to 1. I have auto keying off. Let's see. Let's try it with this thing. So here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna grab this ring here. I'm gonna duplicate it, split it off, turn off snapping, grab that ring, move it up. I'm going to isolate it. I want to grab there we go. I want to grab these. I want to move it up. I'm going to de-isolate it. Something like that. Let's go to emissive purple will be fine, but let's also add, I don't need metallic on this one. Let's add glass. Let's assign the glass to it. Let's duplicate this and call it hollow. Let's roughen this up. Could change its index of refraction later. Can kind of just barely be there. Try it for science. Agreed. Hello, Diamond Dust Nitro. Good day, afternoon, or evening. Hope you're doing good. I'm doing just fine. Thank you very much. How are you? We're doing science. At Nyoku's request, we are trying to make a hologram material. Alright, let's do this here. Turn this on, go here. I'm gonna put a seam. I guess it doesn't really matter where, does it? There. There it is. Let's put it on purple, I think. It's kind of a neat effect. Definitely something to play with. I might actually even fill that in. Try in cycles, see what we get. Not terrible. You could try and duplicate the object, use subdivision to set to simple, and add an emission to it for hologram-like texture. Yep. I subdivided a bit, and yeah. Very light blue? Okay, let's try light blue. Let's grab all of these. Something like that. Try green. Complement the purple. I want less refraction. I think. Almost full roughness. Purple was better. I'll change it back. I forgot, add a wireframe modifier to the duplicated object. Ah. Yes, it would allow for quick subdivision. Right, let's go back to purple. Try that. Okay. You know what I ought to do, actually, with the hologram? It should also have its own emission. Just gonna copy the color over here. It doesn't matter, I'll move it on the hollow. What am I doing? Okay, grab this color. want it to like just barely be there, but to also give off light. It's tricky. I'm not a shader master. I wish I was. Hello, Herman. Very new to 3D modeling and game dev. Where can I learn more about the material texture technique you're using? All objects in the scene have the same texture. Do I understand correctly? You do understand correctly. So, the technique, I think it's called using an atlas, which is basically just like a master material image that you use. It's the same, another word you'll hear for it is a trim sheet, which just kind of houses textures for that you can use on multiple different assets. So no matter what I click on here, you'll notice that it says this exact same thing. Whoopsies, here. So this is a texture atlas made by Infenzia. It's just a gradient texture. It's like 1048 by 1048, so it's not particularly huge. And you'll see that no matter what I click on here, if I turn these on, no matter what I click on, it's all on the same thing. So to save space, you can apply an image texture as your color, and then place your UVs wherever you want on that. In some instances, like for example this piece of floor here, I have 3 materials. One is this emissive glowing green bit. One is the metallic shiny bits here. And then one is just a flat gray. But all of these all share the same image. So you can still cut down on memory usage and stuff like that just by having a single reference image that all of your materials use. To get around the hard cutoff for the cone, maybe get a projection sandwiched in between 2 of the projector things. Ooh, that's a neat idea. Okay, let's try it. I'm gonna mirror this across the Z global. Ooh, that's interesting. I didn't realize, I think the other one has that face removed, but let's isolate these. Oh, that was a great idea. Let's see how tall it is. It's too tall. Let's scooch down to roughly where it would sit in the ceiling. Yes, that was an excellent decision. Good call. Okay. Also, this one, just gonna get rid of that face. Sick. That's cool. Yeah, it's Herman, I think it's called using a texture atlas or a trim sheet. Daniel of DC, it's really nice to see a scene built with an atlas. I've tried this practice models and it looks fine, but I've always wondered how it would look in a game scene. As long as the materials are exported correctly, it'll look just fine. Yeah, I love that. That's a great idea. Adds a lot of well, adding the ceiling in makes such a big difference. Like if I turn the ceiling back on, where's ceiling tiles? It's actually turn snapping on. Come on. Let's grab these. Why are you being weird like that? I don't know why it's being weird, chat. But when we do that, then all of a sudden we can go for a little stroll in here. Yes. Yes! I'll shrink those planets down and then I can animate them in there. It's neat. I don't know how that will show up in Engine, but it'll be worth testing for sure. Now we are cooking with science. Absolutely. So another thing I want to do is I want to add some detailing to these like control panels. Yeah, maybe do 3 variations of them because it's just adding buttons and stuff on them. That'll give people plenty of choice. Let's see the studio HDRI when it's in Eevee. Cryo caskets, or pods, cryopods, biomonitors, the centrifuge. It's like a command center, I guess. Let's keep going. Now we're into the reactor room. I think I need to move that down and out a little bit more because it's pretty tall right now. Let's do that, chat. I'm not worried about that poking through. You wouldn't see it because once I make the ceiling tiles that are duplicated, you'd never see it. So let's shut off ceiling tiles. Let's delete this one because we're going to go to the main one, the generator here, which should be at the origin. Let's just shut these off for now. I'm just going to grab this. All I'm doing is hitting L here, chat, to select linked. I'm going to turn snapping off. Somewhere like that. Let's go to the back side here. Okay, I'm just going to extrude it back. Good. Okay, that's a bit better. We Shift-D that, move it to display, and hide this one. Not sure why that pipe is visible. Let's go back to display, turn snapping on, move this back into position. Which one's this? It should not be visible in display. Okay, let's go for another stroll. That's better. Significantly better. Easy fix. Alright. Have to move that down a little bit. It's fine. So this is weird. This one is having some Z fighting issues. Well, this one is not. Are they identical in height or are they not? They are, so it's actually the floor that's off kilter there. Foundation. Yeah, one of them got moved in a weird way. That's very strange. Alright. Oh, things are happening. Alrighty, let's see. We got lamps. I think I should make some more lamps. I still want to make some like cafeteria stuff. I'll check my list again. It's good to have a list. Let's go back to main. Check our list. Turn snapping off. I'm actually going to duplicate this into display. Wait, I don't need to do that, do I? I can just go to display. It's the visibility set. Turn on list. There we go. Now I can see it all. Hey Molten, love the progress. Thank you. How you doing? Needs a crew quarters type thing. Yeah, we've got this here. We've got bunks. Like basic sleeping bunks. But I was thinking, I'm not sure that I love these beds, really. So I also want to do some hydroponics. I think it'd be fun. So I was thinking maybe taking the sleeper casket, like the sleep casket here, and modifying it to look more like a bed. Are you going to do any details on the cryo chamber status monitors? I might. It's another area where I could subdivide it and put some stuff on there. Another thing I could do as an optional kind of thing is create some in Krita or whatever digital painting software, and then put it on the monitors here as like an optional texture. So it's there if you like have the memory budget to use it. Because I think with low poly stuff, most engines can actually manage quite a bit now. Even mobile engines can do reasonably well. So having one or two other textures in there isn't going to hurt it very much. So maybe some cool sci-fi looking designs on here. And I would just export it with an alpha. Exactly, a texture stencil, exactly right. Yep. And then maybe even some decals would be fun to put in. But for now, what I'd like to do is I'd just like to get this pack done. So that I can release it and people can fiddle around with it, and then I can get some feedback. Because there's a definite shortage of sci-fi, low poly sci-fi like map building assets. There's all kinds of ones for fantasy and stuff, and there are sci-fi assets for like tiles and stuff, but not really a ton of just good old sci-fi junk. You know what I mean? So just having a bunch of sci-fi things around is a lot of fun. Let's put that on the list here. Let's go here. Texture stencils. Decals. Alright, let's go back to main quickly. Let's just turn on the ramps. This is where we started. And I just want to quickly give this a texture. Let's do it as metallic, I think, actually. That's metallic. Just gonna put it here, something like that. It's much too dark. Or is it? Do we want to leave the banisters darker for contrast? The ones that do exist are super high detail. That was my thinking, is that like it's really easy to find fantasy asset packs. And a lot of them are like really, really good. But it's very, very hard to find reasonable reasonably good sci-fi ones for some reason. Just gonna place this roughly in the center here. Because I'm going to export it separately as a railing. Duplicate it. I'm going to have to measure its height. so that I can make other ones. Imagine having a Harry Potter bedroom instead of the staircase. Yeah. Alright, let's move that to display. Let's go to display. Got this railing now. I'm gonna turn snapping on. There we go. It's in the wrong spot. Okay, so it is a little bit far over. Let's delete that. Here, let's try moving it back where it was. Whoops, snapping off. Let's put its origin at the 3D cursor and try it again. Display. Turn snapping back on. This might be one instance where snapping is not helpful. I'm hesitant to make it built in, because I think it's better to just give somebody the option. Now I'm gonna make one that goes crossways here. Do you have a favorite piece of science fiction media? Favorite piece? It's a tough question. Some of my favorites, I mean, I'm a huge Star Wars and Star Trek fan. I think probably one of the best pieces of sci-fi media in the last while is The Expanse, which if you haven't watched, I highly recommend you do, or read them. I've also read the books, they're incredible. But, I mean, Star Wars, Star Trek, all very good. I like some of the tech stuff from, like, Warhammer 40k. I don't know, I kind of like it all, really. I'm trying to think if there's anything, like, that jumps to my mind that's bad. I just like good design, and if it's in a sci-fi setting, so much the better. My favorite from recently, though, would probably be The Expanse, because it's incredibly good. Alright, let's go back to our main. And what I'm going to do... Let's go here. I think I'd also like to turn on the foundation or the deck height. So let's turn deck height on. There we go. This way I have a sense of what's going on. Just put it right there. Okay. So I think I might just duplicate that off and switch it around. The add volume jump scares. Gotta head out for now. You take care, and we'll be back to see you Saturday. Awesome, Naoku. Thanks for coming by. I hope you have a great day, and I'll see you Saturday. Was it this stream that added volume jump scare? Volume hasn't changed. That's weird. Alright. Duplicate that. Go here. Scavenger's Reign is also really good sci-fi. Interesting. I'll have to check it out. What is this here? Delete that one. Whoop. Origin to geometry. X45. There we go. Let's go cursor to selected, selection of cursor, go to the front, put it up to the right height, close as that. Pretty close. And then scale in the X by 0.5. That should get us pretty much exactly where we need to be. A little bit skinnier. Scale only in the X. Alright. Just gonna go select this. Split it off. Move it over. Let's get the original railing back. Let's do this face, can't we? Just gonna scale these both to 0 to flatten them out. Scooch it over a bit. I'd like to put 3 of them here, equidistant. Perhaps I'll just put an array on here. And apply the bevel. Not mirror, array. Chop it off, apply all transforms, origin to geometry, there we go. Array. I want 3 of them. About that far. Let's just hide this quickly so I can see what's happening. Not the bevel, apply the bevel. There we go, something like that. Okay, I'm just gonna check this for bits I can optimize. I think these all have, they're all open. Oh, it's infuriating. Okay. Enough. Let me catch up on chat here. Now the YouTube ads are way louder than the stream is all. Oh. Dang. I did not know that. That would have been a heck of a jump scare. Collecting everybody's suggestions like Easter eggs. Yeah, same. I got a smart crew here. It's pretty sweet. Okay, what else did I need? Floors should be on. Oh no, not floors. Ramps. Where's deck height? Where is it? I had it isolated. Aha! Alright. So that's the same height. These then need to move down just a bit. Origin to geometry. Let's put the 3D cursor at the center. Something like that. This one is deck height. Hide. There we go. Okay. Railing flat. Flat. 4 meters. Let's duplicate that and put it into display. Let's go back to display. Select this one. Make sure snapping is on. Let's see what's going on here. Snapping off. I'll have to figure that out before I export it. But there 'tis. It's also too far forward. Alright, so some adjustments will need to be made. But that will do for the display purposes anyway. Let's give it a quick look in cycles. Can't you turn the volume up? Of what? The stream volume? Shouldn't be that quiet. Do you need me to turn it up? Or were you asking, Scabby Banana? Team Topaz. Let's give this a look in cycles. Oh, I like the banisters. Of the entire stream, I can turn up the... Well, first of all, here. I can move my microphone a little closer. And if you want more music volume, yes, I can turn it up just a smidge. There we go. And I'll turn my voice up a bit also. Is that better? I'm hesitant to go any further than that because the sound was balanced. Sounding okay for everybody? Okay, so we got some railings. That's good. What else do I need? What are we doing for time? 20 after 11. Okay. Excuse me. Didn't even realize there was music. Yeah, it's better. But you got more room if you need. Okay. Let's turn up. I'll turn up the music just a smidge. I just don't want it to override my voice. So if it's getting smushed around, just let me know, chat. Alright. I could, and I'm gonna have to reanimate these, I think. The caskets. Because right now these are two animations. There's separate animation. The first one is them rocking forward and locking into place, and then the second one is them opening. And because I was dumb and or lazy, I didn't do this with bones. I just did it with parenting and rotations. So I might try to do it with bones between now and Saturday, just to see if I get a better result, because it'll give me control over a skeleton rather than just pivots. This one's perfectly fine. This one works exactly the way it's supposed to in an animation montage in Engine. This one, though, is giving me grief. So I may just have to... redo the animations, which isn't a big deal. It's not too much trouble. Okay, we got some lights. I wonder if we should do maybe some more lights. Could do just a table, like little tables, a mess hall. Alright, let's do that. I'm gonna give me my floor for scale. There it is. Alrighty. Everything sounds good? Okay, sweet. It's rainy where I am, and it's nice. Hello, Rosovia, how are you? How are ya? Alright. Let's see. Maybe what I'll do, maybe I'll just steal this space. On the X. Also want to actually turn on a chair. Just the chair, please. So I can see what kind of height we're dealing with here. I can hide that now. I'm doing just fine. Thank you for asking. Let's go down this way. What's the best way to animate things like that when you're taking other programs into account? Hello. Soon. Hello. What's the best thing to animate things when you take it to other programs into account? Yeah, probably using a skeleton. Using an actual setup of bones. You can do it with just pivot rotations, like by parenting things. But I don't think it gives you the same level of control. It's something I still need to figure out. I'm gonna scale this down. Let's maybe grab this face. Pull it down just a bit and in. This also I would like to switch to Atlas. I'm gonna call this table. Move it to, no, I'm not gonna move it yet. Yeah, probably to give it bones and then have those bones deform certain parts of the mesh. That's kind of the standard. Doing it with pivots and parenting and rotations is doable, but I don't think it's anywhere close to industry standard. I just don't think it gives you enough control. But something to explore later. Okay. I think we could keep this really, really simple, actually. Just inset that. Pull it down to there. Delete those faces. Oh, I hate when I do that. I really do. I accidentally toggle a visibility set that I did not mean to. Where did that go? Where did it go? It's probably just called the plane, innit? Plane. What's that? These are all submeshes. Oh, that's annoying. That's very annoying. Some of those also have keys on them. There we go. Let's move these into furniture and turn that on. Don't need walls right now. Furniture on, please. There we go. How does that sit on there? It sits okay. Maybe do the same thing here. Just inset this face once. Scale it on the X. Scale it less on the Y. And extrude it down. Okay. Yeah, isolate this face and delete it. We're not going to need it. That's kind of all there is to that, really. Somewhere around here might be good. Just shade the undersides a bit. Just gonna move them down a smidge. And then we'll do the same at the tops. Gonna lighten them up. Like that. Just get a little extra dimensionality out of it for free. No problem. Alright. Table. Good. Let's save it. Duplicate it. Move the duplicate into display. Let's go back to display and find a spot for our table. Oops, let's turn snapping on. Maybe here. Oopsies. Come on. Okay, got a table. I can always go in and tweak the table too. Like if I want to add decorating, like set dressing on it, or maybe some details on it, I can do that. In fact, actually, let's have one plain table, and then let's have one that has a little bit of character to it. So let's go to, and all I'm going to do is just do a quick inset here. Make sure this is in furniture. Let's shut the other one off. Table inset. There we go. All I'm going to do is just grab this thing. Yep. And then I'm going to... I want to do a loop cut. I want to turn snapping off. Do a loop cut. Like here. And then another one here. I just want to grab this loop of them. There we go. I'm going to inset it again. I think we're going to do this towards the median point. Yeah. And then what I can do is with all of those selected, I can just go to UVs and make them a different color. Just get a little extra character in there. Duplicate that off, put it in display. Hide that, switch back to display, and I will catch up on chat. I was totally wrong about thinking you'd only make assets about dungeons and medieval stuff. Is it already possible to make low poly Among Us from this asset? Probably. It probably is. Oh, I'm gonna turn snapping on. Here we go. Let's put this in the corner. Let's put the one with the cuts in it in the light here. There we go. Just tiny little detail adds a little bit of flavor to it. Nothing crazy. Yeah, I like making sci-fi stuff too. I will get around to making medieval stuff. In fact, I have a list of kind of different packs I'd like to do. I've always wanted to tackle like ancient Mayan ruins and try and do a really good job of that, even though it's low poly. What else? I think I'd like to do some alien tech or like alien style things. So like the idea with this pack that I'm putting together now is that you could make it look like the interior of a spaceship or a colony. On another planet, or even just whatever, a sci-fi-ish facility, whatever you want. But it would also be cool to have like a set of assets for Uh, it would also be cool to have a set of assets for different terrain. Like with fleshy alien tentacly technology bits. Trying to think what else. I refill my coffee, chat. I don't know if that pop made it through, but it was very satisfying to hear. You can totally use it in a bunch of different ways. Exactly. Use it for whatever you want. I'm just trying to make like a decent collection of things that someone could pick up and be like, I've been wanting to try, like, yeah, the whole goal really is to enable creative people to make their games, or to figure out to learn how to make games, or do other creative things, or filmmaking, or whatever it happens to be, in whatever engine they're using. Oh, that's good coffee. Whoa. It's really good. So yeah, I think basically here's what I'm thinking. Maybe a scavenger space pirate pack kind of thing. I'll put it on the list. That would be good. I can eventually I'll get around to characters as well. Space pirates. Okay, it's on the list. Yeah, eventually I'll get around to doing characters, but there's a whole bunch of different things. When the coffee courses through you like electricity. My last cup had cooled down, but I keep fresh coffee in a thermos nearby. You kind of get used to coffee as it cools down, but man, it's good when it's not cooled down. This is gonna look very bad, but that's fine. Let's see what it looks like when you're in the casket. I'm free! Yeah, when I reanimate it, I'll probably actually animate a separate closing action rather than forcing someone to program reversing the animation in engine. Have you ever tried texture painting using objects using vertex paint? Yeah, for sure. On sculpts, definitely. I haven't done it really with low poly stuff, but I know you can also bake down vertex color. So like if I were doing a high-res sculpt or something and I painted it using vertex paint, then I could bake that down and apply it to the actual low-res. What's up, bro? Hi, bro 078. Hello. How you doing? Never tried Blender before? You should. It's awesome. I love it. Yeah, it's a lot of fun. Alright, and what else are we trying to do here? Let's check the list. Is there anything else that jumps out at me right now? I don't think so. Maybe the hydroponic bits. I'm making low poly sci-fi assets for an asset pack that I'm gonna give away. So they'll all be free. This whole set of assets will be free for people who like building stuff in 3D or working on indie games or whatever. Yes, 3D is definitely a deep rabbit hole. That is true. Okay, I got my banisters. That's good. I got these railings. That's fine. The ramps are looking okay. I think I'd like to make different looking ramps at some point, but I think for the basic one, it's fine. Let's see. Alright, let's check the list, chat. Hydroponics, I think, is what I want to do next. Some sort of hydroponic thingy. Let's hide that. Alright. Ooh, you know what I'm going to do, actually? With the hydroponics, just to keep the design consistent and to make my life easier, I'm going to open the sleeper casket here. I'm going to take the... I'm going to duplicate that, move it to hydroponics. Great, okay. Shut the sleeper casket off. Scroll down to hydroponics. Now this is going to be interesting. Hello, Louise. Your new and great channel. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. It's very nice of you to say. This has animation data on it. Hydroponics. Right. If I select just this, I do not want this to have any animations at all. How do I remove any attributes that are associated with this? Because animation would qualify as an attribute manipulation. What am I doing? Okay. What I could do, actually... I'll just have to keyframe it doing nothing, I guess. These. Put those in. We can dissolve these edges now. Or not. From the NLA? It could be in the NLA, yeah. It's fine. Just keyframe it here. Whoopsies. There we go. Keyframe that. And then copy it over to the end. And now it doesn't matter. Why is it still rotating? Oh, you know what? I actually think I might know why this was doing this in the first place. There we go. Problem solved. It was still, the duplicate was still parented to the other object, which is why. Okay. All transforms origin to geometry. Let's put that at the cursor. Go left, scooch it up. Now, I definitely want to add some variation to this, so I think what we're going to do is go in here delete these faces. Fill that in. Do the same thing here. In fact, I'll just do this time. Delete faces. Why do I do this to myself? There we go. Okay. Fill that face in. Just all these edges, I don't need them. Now I'm trying to texture low poly models like this, completely replacing UV texturing. This makes them easier and generally not stressful. Definitely. Using an atlas or trim sheets is really, really good. Okay. I want these to be more or less straight up and down. Because let's shift these over to what? Something like this. Okay. Let's grab this and this, fill it in. How do I want to do this? Thinking I might want to join those together, actually. So I think that's what I'll do. Knife tool, cut down, cut across. Oh, I'm not in the right spot. There we go. Cut across and cut up. Gonna make sure those verts are merged. They are. Merge at center, merge at center, center, merge at center. Okay. Is that what I want? Yes, more or less. Good. All right. Let's go back here. I'm going to select all of these. I'm going to split them off and rearrange them. And then I'm also going to mirror this thing so I don't have to do all of that cutting again. What is the name of the next asset pack after that? Not sure which one I want to do after that, honestly. I'm gonna undo that. Origin to geometry. Cursor to selected. Nope. Cursor to world origin. Selection of cursor. There we go. Just gonna put this here for now. No, I should leave those connected first, actually. Let's put those back together. Origin to geometry. Selection of cursor. Okay, now split these off. Okay, there we go. Now I'm just going to use my knife. Origin to geometry. that's fine. Just gonna use my knife tool. I have occlude geometry off, so wherever I cut here will go all the way through, as you can see. Left. Turn on X-ray mode. And I'm gonna delete all of these faces. Then I'm gonna go here, add a mirror modifier with the mirror empty, mirror it on the Y, turn clipping on, and apply. Now I have a frame for my hydroponics, which is good. Let's turn this back on. Let me catch up on chat. Wait, how are you editing the meshes after they have colors? You can edit meshes even after they've been unwrapped. Go. Just a question, but why would you put seams to most edges if it's mostly the same color? You still need to unwrap it. And for the purposes of this asset pack, I'm using an automatic unwrapping tool. It's just fast, and it makes literally no difference in terms of rendering. It makes no difference to the engine. In other words, there's no, I don't have to worry about seams being hidden. Because these are low poly assets, you're always going to be able to tell that there's a plane change between like here and here. You're always going to be able to tell. So I don't have to hide the fact that there's a seam there. It's usually only on retopology from high resolution assets that you need to worry about hiding your seams. And while I could go through and change all of these, change all of the UVs to be only on the 90-degree or whatever, you know, angle. But it just, for the purposes of the pack that I'm making, it literally does not matter at all. Okay, hydroponics frame, that's looking good. Let's scooch this up a little bit so that it sits about there, ground level. I also would like to... What the heck? What's happening here? I'm gonna have to merge all of these. Crap. That's fine. I forgot to clip them together. Silly me. It's fine, let's just merge them, no problem. There we go. Is Blender's default unwrapping okay for noobs? I'm coming from learning Blockbench and it's a default unwrapping sucks eggs. Yeah. For those of you just learning Blender or 3D in general, I'm going to try and give you some advice here that should save you a ton of heartache and trouble. For doing creative things that aren't for clients and stuff like that, you can have messy unwraps. It's fine. The piece of advice is you really only need to strive for the level of execution that the project needs, right? So for my project, these low poly assets, I've now, I mean, at this point, I've got many. I mean, I'm almost at probably 100 or so here. Let me shut this off and turn display on. And that's only the beginning, really. So for my purposes, because what I'm trying to do is a rapid kind of low poly asset pack, my main concerns are that they look kind of cool, they fit together correctly, so there's no overlaps or Z fighting or anything like that, and that they're reasonably optimized. So when I have something like this item, for example, it has lots of seams on it, but this is an automatic unwrap using ZenUV. The reason I'm doing that is because, first of all, it's really, really fast. Secondly, I don't have to, like, for the end product that's getting made here, the UVs don't matter. So that's just time I'm not going to spend. It would be wasted work, essentially, for me to go through and make sure these were all single super tidy. No, you're absolutely correct. It wouldn't hurt to keep stuff tidy. And if I were being paid by somebody to do this, I would keep it tidy. But the fact of the matter is, given that it's not going to affect the end product, it's not going to change the optimization of these at all, then it just doesn't matter. So really, like, I'm not the only person that'll tell you this either. A lot of other people... Let me move this out of the way here. Move it down somewhere. A lot of other people will tell you the same thing, that, like, you should really only be spending as much time on something as it needs, as the project needs. And when it comes to keeping stuff tidy, like, I used to be so bad with the outliner. Like, this would even a couple months ago would have been like cube 1, cube 347. So when I'm doing something like this is absolutely mandatory. But like, going in and removing extra UV cuts, like if I find out, for example, that it is causing a performance lag for whatever reason, then I will. Then I'll go in and I'll edit them up and tidy them up and make sure they look fine. But for the most part, it just doesn't matter. TLDR, yeah, it's fine to use Blender's default unwrap, although you should practice unwrapping things yourself. Alright. What was I doing? It is coming together, though, slowly but surely. Alright, let's go back to what we were doing here. Oh yeah, hydroponics cascade. Let's take a look. So, I think now... some edges here I don't need. Let's isolate it. Don't need these edges either. Do I need these central ones? I do not. Sweet. Okay. Okay, I'm going to make 2 versions of this. If I wasn't working alone on the assets and maybe having someone to optimize UVs would be justifiable, but on his own it's just not worth the time and brain juice. Yeah, especially considering these are like being given away for free. Like, I want to stress, chat, that I'm not making them low quality because they're free. That's not my intention at all. I intend to make them as good as I possibly can. The point I'm trying to make is that by spending that labor, that time to clean up the UVs for them, which would look nice if I were presenting it in a portfolio, would functionally for me be a loss of money and a loss of time, right? Because that's work I could be doing elsewhere. I enjoy making these, but I don't enjoy going through hundreds of assets to tidy up their UVs when it makes no difference to the outcome. If that makes sense. Like, just doing it on principle isn't enough to justify the amount of time it would take. If it actually affects the outcome in a meaningful way, then I would go and do it 100%. But it simply doesn't matter. Okay, let's duplicate this. call this one hydroponics empty. And this one we will go here and delete. Oops. Delete just this. Okay, cool. It's called grunt work for a reason. Exactly. Exactly. Like, I really do want to stress, again, if it was for a client or it was impacting performance in some way, I would fix it. But just because it makes zero difference at all, I don't need to. And you shouldn't, like, I don't know. I can say this, but until you experience wasting time, like wasted effort like that on your own and realize how much time you lost doing something that literally made no difference, I'm not sure I can convince you that it's not necessary. But it really is not. Noted, because on Blockbench, I have to do an awful lot of rearranging and repainting just to even make it look put together. I get it, but on a more detailed render, I can imagine it gets time consuming. It does, and it takes a while to learn how to properly unwrap things and, you know, pin and stretch your UVs and try and rectify them where possible. All of that stuff. There's a skill set to it, for sure. Thank you for explaining your reasoning. Makes sense to me. Yeah, for sure. My pleasure. I'm just trying to save you some time and some pain, because this is something something I learned from my university degree also, is there's kind of a certain amount of work that needs to be done, and anything beyond that you will just be like, you'll just be hurting yourself by putting in that extra time that just simply won't make a difference. Like, put in your best effort, obviously. And maybe this is just comes from the benefit of having worked on a lot of projects, but you learn what you need to do and what you don't need to do. And in this case, luckily, I don't need to make perfect UVs. I can literally just, I can use the add-on to just smash them. I can dial it in if I want to, and if it's particularly horrible or something, then yes, I most certainly will fix it. But where should this go? Hydroponics. Oh, I want to duplicate these into display. There we go. Shut these off. Go back into display. Okay. Alright, I'm gonna need probably to design a different room or flooring for hydroponics. As someone that's guilty of getting lost in minute details, it's much appreciated. Sorry if I went on a rant there. But one of the most valuable lessons I've learned throughout my university degree and all of 3D is just don't make extra work for yourself if you don't have to. It will make you sad. Your mom is a professional sculptor, and we always joke that art always takes two artists. One to make the art, and the second to tell them when they are done and stop fiddling with it. 100%. 100%. Could not agree more. I couldn't agree more. That's absolutely how I feel about it as well. Alright, where should we put these hydroponics things? Where should we put them? Should we make like a basement? Here? Something like this. Cool. Hydroponics go upstairs. Okay. Lurking but enjoying the chill vibes and seeing your project come together. It's looking really good. Thanks, Joshua Marsh. Thank you. I appreciate that. Hydroponics go upstairs. Should we maybe what we do then? Oh, there's a big cold breeze. That was nice. How did I miss that one? Let's scooch these this way. How did this get off grid? Hello? There we go. There we go. Okay. In animation, we do the same. There are artists that storyboard and do key poses and whatnot, but the other guys that animate all the in-betweens. Yeah, exactly. I have dabbled in animation. I've never gotten very good at it, but it is something I definitely would like to explore some more. But yeah, I mean, just as advice for... And I mean, it's going to be difficult because as beginners, it's going to be hard to know what you need to do. That kind of sucks because I can't really... There's only so much information I can tell you about the workflow. I really wish I could just, you know, teleport the knowledge to your brain, but sometimes you're just going to have to work through something enough to know when you need to do something or not. If you don't allocate your efforts like this, you'll end up getting lost in unnecessary rabbit holes, and you could end up losing the creative ideas you were modding off of. Yeah. It's definitely... One of the things that contributes to burnout in 3D in particular is the fact that there's just so much to learn when you start. And of course, when you are learning something, you are convinced that everything has to be perfect, right? Like, you have to get it perfect. Your UVs on everything should be perfect. Textures should be perfect. All of your bakes should be perfect. Your geometry should be perfect. Your edge flow, all of that stuff. And of course, it's nonsense. It's not going to be perfect. It's probably never going to be perfect, but certainly not as a beginner. Nobody starts something new good at it. They might think they are, or they may have an aptitude for certain parts of it, but nobody begins a new skill just being good at it. You have to make the mistakes to know what to avoid, exactly. Or have done enough work to know where you can save time. Watching unedited streams like this are helpful to understand workflow and even some error correction. Big help. That's awesome. That's why I like doing the streams. Like, making videos is really good because I know that some of them can help people learn things, but I enjoy streaming a lot more. I get a lot of work done. I get to hang out with my chat and talk about 3D. It's pretty great. Fox Spellcaster, been lurking in your stream since a few days ago. Really appreciating the vibe along with the creativity. Thank you, Fox. Thanks for hanging out. I always appreciate a lurk. I've been known to do it myself. Biggest challenge I run into is being afraid of trying something and not being able to go back or refigure out what I did. That just takes getting over. I'm 100% with you there. I have done things in Blender in the past that I still don't understand how I accomplished them. That has definitely happened. And yeah, that happens. But I mean, it's something I've done before. Oh, so one of my tricks, one of the things I've done to help me with that is whenever I learn a new skill set, which is usually painful, as I'm sure all of you can attest. In Blender, the learning curve in anything is very, very high. But whenever I figure it out in a way that makes sense to me, I write it down in a document. So I have like a master document of workflow processes. So I write down all of the steps in my own words. That's one of the reasons why when I'm making tutorial videos, they're pretty clear. Like, it's one of the advantages I have, I think, in my tutorials is that I'm very particular about the way I say things and explain things, and that's because I have this document that I've written for myself so I can avoid confusion when I inevitably forget how to do something that I've done before. I find it helps a lot. So that's another recommendation, is when you figure out, like, if you have even the smallest concern that you might forget how to do it, then just write it down, right? Like, literally take notes for yourself while you're learning it, and then reference those notes later. Just make a Google Doc and save it. It will save you a lot of pain. Should I make some little plants for these? Be pretty easy. I'm a great teacher. Thank you. Thanks. That's lovely to hear. That's very encouraging. Because it's just immensely satisfying to know that I helped somebody, especially in a creative thing. Like, that's just so satisfying. Because learning technical skills about, like, software and things like that are one thing, but you never know, like, you never know what that person is going to accomplish by developing those skills. And that's intensely exciting. Because someone could just make the most incredible thing, and just because they learned a new skill, it just unlocks their creative potential in some way. It's exciting stuff. Let's see. Knowing how is one thing, but it's presenting and applying in the real world that's the real challenge. Yeah, that's what just takes practice, right? It takes skill to... It takes skill and determination to figure out how to apply what you've learned to your artistic endeavors. just gonna use the sculpt tools to make a leaf here. I need to see. Alright, this one though would probably benefit from gradient. So let's see which way it's rotating right now. Something like that might be good. The origin to the 3D cursor. What's happening here? Yep. Plants! There's plants in there! Let's pick a spot. They should all go around. Like that. Then we'll put a little tiny little cylinder in there and we're good. It's alive! Tis. Alright. Let's head out. Wait, are we on top of that? Yes, we are. Okay, good. So I can add a cylinder. 12. Let's make it very, very... Oop. I'm going to zoom out. Scale. Shift Z. Make it very, very skinny. Very, 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 very small. Something like that. Cool. I would unironically play and enjoy Hydroponic Space Farming Simulator 2024. That would be fun, actually. The Martian movie, but as a game. And grow potatoes. So many potatoes. Alright, let's duplicate this now. Move it to display. Let's switch our view back. Ooh, excuse me, chat. Excuse the burps. It's all that coffee. I'm gonna shut snapping off now, just so I can position these a little more nicely. Let's grab these. 50 GZ, there we go. Let's just rotate this one a bit. A bit. 50 GZ. Cute. Got some hydroponics going. Sweet. In VR. That would be fun. How are we doing for time? Alright, we're over time. Ooh, goodness gracious, I am going to be late. I'll be fine. Alright, let's see. Let's take a look at what we have wrought, chat. What did we get done today? We got this thing, the, like, projector thingy, redone, which is pretty sweet. That was a great idea, by the way, to put the top on it with some hologram stuff. Excellent idea. We got, what else did we get? We got some banisters made, which is good, because you can use those all over the place. We got some lights made. Let's see what else. Tables. We got 2 different tables made. We got our hydroponics bays that share a similar shape language to these, so it's nice and consistent. Making your own poop in VR. VR fertilizer. I mean, that's pretty good. That's pretty productive, and I'm happy with it. Let's switch it to cycles. Let's go to our camera here. Just gonna lock my camera to my view. We'll do a quick render of this in cycles. Yeah. Let's do a quick render. 128 with denoising. Let me just make sure it's not ridiculous. Okay. Great stream. Thanks again, and have a great rest of your day. Thanks, Vic. I hope you have a great day also. Thank you to everybody who came to hang out once again today. As usual, I will be back Saturday morning at 10 a.m. Central Standard Time. Thanks for letting us hang out. Thanks for hanging out. It was great. Look forward to the next one. I hope to see you Saturday morning, 10 a.m. Central Standard Time. And we'll just keep plugging away. We'll just keep on making some assets, and if we get inspired, we'll make some animated ones. But yeah, thanks again, everybody. It's really, really nice to have people consistently in the chat, so I can get to know you a little better, and we can talk about Blender and all that fun stuff. I'm from Canada, Scabby Banana, Central Canada. Oh, Jay, I'm just hopping off. For those of you in the chat who don't know, Jay the Dev Guy is also a YouTube educator who makes amazing content. You should go check out his channel. Especially if you're into actually doing dev. I'm just about to hop off, Jay. But thank you for coming to hang out, everybody. And yeah, I'll see you Saturday. Oh, I really do gotta run now. I'll see you Saturday, 10 a.m. Central Standard Time on YouTube and Twitch. Okay. I'll see you later, everybody.